Villains, agents of chaos, architects of suffering. We fear them, despise them, yet we are strangely drawn to their stories. What is it about these harbingers of darkness that captivates our imagination? Perhaps it is their unapologetic embrace of power, their willingness to defy societal norms and tread paths forbidden to those bound by morality. Or maybe it is the glimpse they offer into the darkest recesses of the human heart, the reflection of our own hidden desires and fears. Whatever the reason, villains hold a strange power over us. They force us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world we inhabit. They remind us that the line between good and evil is often blurred, and that even the most noble intentions can have devastating consequences. In their rise and fall, we witness the fragility of order, the seductive nature of power, and the enduring struggle between darkness and light. Power takes many forms. For some villains, it is a raw, physical force, a tempest of might that can shatter mountains and crush armies. For others, it lies in the shadows, a whisper of fear that spreads like a virus, paralyzing their enemies before a single blow is struck. The most dangerous villains, however, possess a keen intellect, a mind honed like a blade. They are masters of strategy, weaving intricate webs of deception and manipulating events to their advantage. They understand the levers of power, the subtle pressures that can bend even the strongest wills. And they are not afraid to use fear as a weapon to exploit the vulnerabilities of their enemies and sow discord among their ranks. Yet, even the most ruthless villain is not without weakness. Beneath the layers of cruelty and ambition often lies a flicker of humanity, a hidden vulnerability that makes them all the more compelling. It might be a tragic past, a love lost, or a deep-seated insecurity that fuels their insatiable hunger for power. These glimpses of vulnerability do not excuse their actions, but they do make them relatable. They remind us that villains are not born, but made, shaped by the crucible of their experiences. By understanding their motivations, their fears and desires, we gain a deeper understanding of their choices, even as we condemn their actions. There is a certain artistry to the way a true villain operates. They revel in chaos, finding a perverse pleasure in the disruption of order and the suffering of others. Their actions are not merely acts of destruction, but calculated performances designed to instill fear and demonstrate their absolute control. Take, for instance, the moment when a villain chooses to make a public display of their power. It is a carefully orchestrated spectacle designed to send a message. The target is rarely random. Often it is a symbol of the old order, a person or institution that represents everything the villain seeks to destroy. The method of their downfall is equally deliberate, a gruesome testament to the villain's ruthlessness and a chilling warning to any who dare oppose them. Section 5. A twisted world view through the villain's eyes. To understand a villain, one must step into their world, see the world through their eyes. Their perspective is often skewed, warped by their experiences and their insatiable hunger for power. They may see themselves as liberators, freeing the world from the shackles of a corrupt system. Or they may believe that their actions are necessary evils, the only way to achieve a greater good. Their view of humanity is often cynical and jaded. They may see people as pawns to be manipulated, tools to be used and discarded in their pursuit of power. Or they may believe that humanity is inherently flawed, driven by greed and ambition, and that only through their firm hand can true order be achieved. Section 6. The power of bonds, love, loyalty, and betrayal. Even villains are not immune to the power of human connection. They may forge alliances, build loyal followings, and even experience love, albeit in their own twisted way. These relationships, however, are often complex and fraught with danger, built on a foundation of fear, ambition, or a shared thirst for power. Love, for a villain, can be a double-edged sword. It can be a source of strength, a flicker of warmth in the cold emptiness of their heart. But it can also be a fatal weakness, a chink in their armor that their enemies can exploit. Betrayal, whether real or perceived, is often a defining moment in a villain's journey, pushing them further down the path of darkness and hardening their hearts against any shred of humanity they may have left. Section 7. The villain's legacy, a ripple effect. The impact of a villain's actions extends far beyond their immediate victims. Their reign of terror can leave scars on the world, shaping the destinies of nations and leaving a legacy of pain and suffering that echoes through generations. Their influence can be seen in the rise of new conflicts, the erosion of trust and the hardening of hearts. The world they leave behind is often a darker, more cynical place where the lines between right and wrong are blurred and the belief in heroes is shaken to its core. Section 8. Morality in Shades of Grey. Understanding the villain's justifications. One of the most intriguing aspects of a well-written villain is their ability to make us question our own sense of morality. They often justify their actions with a twisted logic, arguing that the ends justify the means or that their cruelty is necessary to achieve a greater good. While we may abhor their methods, we may find ourselves reluctantly acknowledging the grain of truth in their words. This moral ambiguity is what makes villains so compelling. They force us to confront the complexities of the world, to acknowledge that there are rarely easy answers and that even the most righteous cause can be corrupted by power. Section 9. The enduring fascination, why we love to hate, and sometimes root for, the villain. In the end, our fascination with villains stems from a deep-seated need to explore the full spectrum of human nature. They represent the shadow self, the embodiment of our darkest impulses and desires. By confronting them in fiction, we gain a safe space to explore these darker aspects of ourselves without facing real-world consequences. Moreover, villains often possess qualities that we secretly admire: their charisma, their intelligence, their unwavering determination. They are often more complex and nuanced than their heroic counterparts, their motivations driven by a tangled web of experiences and desires that defy easy categorization, and sometimes we find ourselves rooting for them, hoping against hope that they will succeed, if only to see the world burn.